everybody, welcome to the Atlanta Dreamin pod again. Joined as always by Amber and myself, and there is a lot to cover. We just talked on Friday, and it just feels like it's been another week already, just with what's happened. So I want to start with like the prediction you started with on a Spaces, and then it just gradually became more of a possibility with Rupert. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
really excited that Padover was able to claim her. Like we were talking about trades, what it would take. Aces
Mm-hmm.
fans were telling me it was a possibility. They're not letting her go. And she asked for being out.
Mm-hmm.
Padover's the one that drafted her in 2021. She's playing with Cheyenne Parker in Italy right now. I just
Mm-hmm.
absolutely love the fit. I don't know if you're feeling as stoked about it, but
I am. You already know I am because I
yeah.
really like what I got to see when she was on the Aces. So, hey, man, we were able to claim her off of waivers, which is a great thing. We already know we're gonna have her for multiple years, so
Exactly.
I'm excited.
And I had forgotten the waiver rules. Like that was something I was really
Mm-hmm.
excited about. Is like we got to continue on her rookie contract with us because
Mm-hmm.
she's going to be playing in the Eurobasket championship or tournament, whatever it's called, in like June.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to miss like probably like a month playing for France. So getting her for multiple seasons, it doesn't make that as big of a sting and everything. Like it's someone that we get
Mm-hmm.
to develop. And yeah, but I can understand where she was coming from in Vegas. When was she going to get playing time with that core being young? Like,
Exactly. She wasn't
so
gonna get any playing time, and then plus, like they were like, "Hey, we need you now."
yeah,
There was
like
no
she literally
flexibility.
becomes the first true center. Like depending on how it goes, like
Mm-hmm.
playing time is hers. And like all the people that have 1 year contracts, Nia Coffey, Cheyenne Parker, Monique Billings, if she
Mm-hmm.
really shows out, like if she shows potential this season, like the job can be hers, like to be fighting for next season. So
Exactly.
I really like the pickup of Rupert, and yeah, how many minutes do you see her getting
Hmm.
from the get go with like our front court and everything?
Hmm. I feel like probably. Well. Hmm. I think to start off, they should probably start her between like maybe like 15 to 20 minutes,
That
and
was
then
my
to work
thoughts
her
too.
in there, and then if she proves herself to be a starter, throw in a starting lineup, give her starter minutes.
I agree. Like the 4 and 5 positions, it's just going to be a massive hodgepodge of like people playing the 4 and
Yeah.
5, just people splitting time there and just seeing what clicks. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm really interested. And I will say, like, sorry for anyone on Super Bowl Sunday that was just getting massive tweets from me on watching the Wings game and everything, the opener. But I just love Alicia's athleticism. Like I'm just super excited. Like just Alicia and Ryan that are just like
Mm-hmm.
so creative offensively and can just knock down clutch shots from any range. And then just the energy they put in defensively too. Like there's just not a lot of people
Exactly.
that have that, if anyone. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling very bullish about this season starting, and
Mm-hmm.
it's coming together. Or is it? And we'll talk about that a little later if we think this is what our lineup is going to be, or if there could be other moves on the horizon and everything. But
Hmm.
as always, we talk dreamed content, and we also go throughout the WNBA. And yeah, I want to hear your thoughts on the the 4 team trade. Like, who do you think won that trade? Who are you a little more questionable of what they did? Like, how are you overall feeling about the trade between the Wings, Sky, Liberty, and Mercury?
Okay, first off, so many moving parts.
Yes.
So many. But honestly, I mean, I don't want to say Dallas did a fantastic job, but I do feel like they got a hell of a player in Dominic Shields, and they were able to get the fifth pick. I don't know
And
how
the first rounder for next season, and the whichever
exactly.
picks better for 2025. So,
Like
yeah.
how? Like as much as we trash Greg Bill, I don't know what he tells these other GMs to get them to give him all these pieces. He's not gonna do much with them, but he collects all these like picks and players
We don't
and
know what
with
he's going to do with them as
exactly.
everything, but he has them.
He has them. And the only thing that I'm like kind of makes me a little more optimistic is the fact that Trammell is the coach now. So I feel like they're going to give her more leeway that they didn't give VJ, unfortunately. But I do feel like she's probably going to be able to maneuver a little bit more than VJ did. So hopefully, fingers crossed,
But
because I love
correct me if I'm
Diamond.
wrong. Because I've only been following big time since the Wubble season and everything. It feels like every season going into the season, it's like, oh yeah, the coach is going to be able to do more of what they want and more of the game plan and everything. And then we're having the same discussion later in the season where it's like,
And you might be
oh
right.
man, there's so much
And you might be
potential.
right. Because there's
So
honestly so much potential here.
there is.
But
unlike, I don't know. Sorry, go ahead.
And then I'm thinking about how Diamond and Enrique are both gonna be in the celebrity game this weekend for the NBA All-Star weekend.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they are both. They're gonna be on different teams, but they're both playing. And I don't know, like I feel like, hopefully they're able to do something with the two of them. I hope.
Just not too much.
Yeah, not too much, because we need the Dream to do what they do and what I know they're going to do.
So the Wings are definitely a winner depending on what they did with the picks. Like, this is a lot of picks over the next 3 seasons, so it depends on what they're doing, whether they trade them for assets or actually use the prospects. So overall, the haul, especially for Mabry. So I'll go into one loser to me. Mabry got a better package than Alicia Gray got with us trading crazy. The Wings. We gave the 3rd overall pick, and then we gave a pick for 2025, which is more of an uncertain draft. Like 2024 is supposed to be the main one, so we held on to that 1st round pick. Dallas traded for Mabry, who is a solid player. She's a starter, fringe all-star, but she's not gold medal-ish. Let's just put it that way. She's not gold medal-ish. So she's going to contribute offensively. Defensively, I have my doubts at times and everything. So she is going to score points for Chicago, but just that investment that they gave her close to a super max. Alicia's going to be right around the same salary. So yeah. So this 1st rounder, a 5th pick, 2024 1st rounder, which I'm not fully convinced Chicago's going to be a playoff team this season. Like you said, it's going to be a dogfight. And then 2025, Dallas will have whichever pick is best. So yeah, so I forgot who said this on the TL, but Dallas got someone else to beat Dallas for a trade. They got out. Normally we're talking about how dang, this was bad for Dallas and everything. What were they thinking? And this time Chicago, and I like this guy. I want him to succeed, but this one had me cringing. I don't know. I give them a D-.
Dang. I would at least give them a C-.
I don't like the commit. Just all the factors combined, I just don't like it. Maybe Mabry proves me wrong, and just proves me wrong. I'm not even going to finish the sentence, but maybe she does, and she lives up to that potential. I just don't. Yeah,
I'm gonna put it like this. I really like Mabry. I feel like she's gonna be a great addition to the team offensively. But I feel like it was an overpay. It was a big overpay. And I'm not sure how this guard situation is going to go in Chicago.
Me too. Courtney's going to be on the bench. And then also, I was expecting them to be more like the Storm and Lynx are right now. The Sky of, makes some signings. Yeah. But, they're competitive and everything. But, they're rebuilding on the fly a little bit. But they were going to bring some young pieces in, get the 5th pick if they miss the playoffs, get a lottery pick the next season. That's what I thought they were doing. They have a lot of 1-year contracts. made jokes like she's the assistant GM and everything, but she's an unrestricted free agent after this season. You don't know what's going to happen. Like, I just felt like this could be like a transition time for the Sky for the next couple seasons, and instead they're trying to force extending the window, and I don't think this does that. I think there's still huge holes, like the front court. There's players that would be solid depth pieces, but as far as being starters, like, I don't know. After they missed out on Azare and Candace signing elsewhere, Sloot signing elsewhere, it just, again, felt like it was going to be a season of transition, like a period of time of transition before they reload it, and that didn't happen. And normally when teams try to extend their windows, it does not work out that great. Yes.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about Phoenix, though?
Phoenix, they've made a couple of solid moves, but I'm still trying to figure out what exactly they're going for. Because, they signed Mo Jeff, which is, I feel like,
I thought was a good signing.
Move. It's a great move. But where does that leave Skylar?
And we already knew where Skylar was, but I think, yeah, I was going to bring this up a little later, but, like, what would it take? So I was going through cap sheets earlier, and there is only one team that could take on her contract without giving a major piece back, like without them having to take on a major contract. Like, even Seattle, like, they haven't signed a lot of people, but they have some people like that are part of their foundation. Like Jewel Lloyd still has a big contract. Easy signed a big contract to be with them and everything. But the Atlanta Dream do not have anybody that's over 200,000 right now, even with taking on Skylar Diggins-Smith. And I'll show a graphic I have. So even with, like, Alicia right now and everything, like, we have 340,000, like roughly around 340K left. Sky is at like 230. So, like, it would make us close to the cap. Obviously would make us an 11 player team, but we could afford it. And then we have, like, I don't know, we would have all the pieces they need. Like, I almost guarantee that Phoenix has reached out to us. Whether we do it, again, like, the only way I would do it, and we've talked about this before, is if Skylar Diggins-Smith agrees to an extension before the trade. And I don't know if she wants to do that. I think she wants to be able to experience free agency and be bid over, get, like, that whole experience of being, like, in the headlines and stuff, like she deserves. Like, she's one of the best point guards ever and everything. Like, she's what drew me into like the WNBA and college basketball. Like, just iconic. So that would be the only way I would even consider doing it and everything. But yeah, it is Skylar Diggins-Smith, but it would just cost a lot with, like, we have the first round pick that they would want, first round picks potentially, because they don't pick until the third round. They have 2 picks in the third round after they were part of that 4-way trade. Before, they had 1 pick in the third round. So yeah, it just like what you said, though, I'm curious to see which direction they're going, because they still haven't signed Taurasi, and they haven't signed BG, and both of those, like, it's just a given that they're going to be there. Just like NECA and Chinny are going to be re-signing with the Sparks. It's just a matter of time. Yeah, like,
man, the one thing that bothers me about that whole Taurasi situation is the fact that she said that she would not take a team-friendly contract in order to keep pieces together, which is insane to me, because she's 40 years old. Like, sis, let's be for real. Why would you command probably nearly a max deal at this? Because let's be for real, she's probably going to want that.
Yeah, but from where?
And it's like, no, come on, Diana. Let's be for real. Why not take less? Let these other players get paid. You've made money. You will continue to make money. I just don't understand the thought process of how she just is so, like, she won't Like I feel like she kind of cheating the game now, honestly. But I mean, she's gonna be a big contributor. But it's like, come on now, come on, let's be for real.
Yeah, and I have a little mixed feelings. I'm more on the same page as you. Like, one, I want players getting what they deserve. Like, if Taurasi was doing this even 5 years ago, I'd be like, I get it. Get your money while you're in the W and everything. But now, like you said, she's going to get marketing gigs like
come on now.
Galore
Let's be for
after
real.
this. Like, if she's wanting to make one more run, she, like, even just at her age, like, she's not the same DT, unfortunately, or fortunately for people who aren't a fan of her. Like, she's not going to make the same impact as she did before. Like, it was very noticeable in some games.
Yeah.
So if she takes that contract, like, I don't know, it's what was part of them trading Diamond and not getting that much back. Like, it did create some cap space for them and getting Jefferson. Like, I love that deal. Like, they're making her like the point guard of the future. Like, I'm happy for Jefferson. Like, just all she went through in the past couple of seasons, like being in the situation with Dallas where she was being like, Burton was selected over her like early on in the season. Like, they're like, Burton's our person. And yeah, like, just getting that opportunity with the Lynx and then flourishing. Really happy for her that she got that 3 years guaranteed, and I just hope she can stay healthy. And I think she lives up to it if she can stay healthy. I thought she was just really good for the Lynx. So
yeah, she was fantastic. So I'm super, super happy for her getting a guaranteed contract because she deserves it, definitely.
But back to SDS, like, I just don't see, like, because we're further in free agency as well. Like, a lot of teams, like the contenders that would be interested in bringing her on, don't have that point guard position or don't have the cap space anymore. They would have to trade a major piece back. Like, is there any team to you that would make that deal and trade assets when she could potentially be playing like half a season before she becomes an unrestricted free agent? Like, do you think there's a team that takes that risk?
Not right now. I feel like they're just going to let her hit free agency and then the bids will come. If I was a GM, I probably wouldn't take the risk either, just because you're only going to have her maybe for half a season. Because the last time she was pregnant, the last time she had a child, like when she was with the Dallas Wings, she didn't feel supported. She was dealing with postpartum depression, and she sat the whole next season. So
why I think it's different this season, though. If she sits out, it's a similar thing happens with like Tiffany Hayes when she left early. The Mercury would have her negotiating rights exclusively. Do you think Skylar Diggins-Smith wants that after reportedly wanting a trade out last season? Does she want the Mercury to have the leverage?
Listen, the last time she had I want to say she was about to hit free agency the last time too.
Really? Okay.
And she forced
like I told you, I wasn't a W fan yet. Like, exclusively, I can't imagine what she was feeling to have to feel like she had to sit out an entire year. Like,
but it's
I can't imagine what that situation was like.
It's literally the same exact situation playing out again, because she was pregnant, she had the baby, then she sat out the next year, and that was the last year of her contract. And then she signed a Supermax deal, because I want to say it was like after the CBA had got negotiated this past time, so she was able to get a Supermax. Then she forced the trade, and it was like a 3-4 team trade in order to get her to Phoenix. So yeah, it could very well be the same. That she negotiates a huge deal, gets a Supermax, and hightails it to LA.
Yeah.
Because
there's no way. Because I was trying to figure out like an LA deal for him that's just like the cap space.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
It's just not there this season. No way. So yeah, like you said, it would have to be in free agency, and I don't know if the Fever had not given like a huge deal to Erica Wheeler for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I would have thought that they may have, like, they have so many assets and so many picks. They're trying to go a different direction. Like, they could have traded Mitchell like one off, and the Mercury would have liked that, like, because they're trying to still keep their window open too. Or if the Mercury want to like start acquiring draft picks, the Fever have a lot of those and don't know what to do with them. Like, there's a chance the 7th pick doesn't make the team, like,
which is crazy.
Yeah, like, and they have the 13th. Like, they have like just the galore of picks, and the Mercury again do not have anything until the 3rd round. They would have the pieces, but just after they made that Wheeler commitment, I don't see that happening at all. And then the other teams that would have assets, Dallas, no way in heck. Minnesota, like, it doesn't make sense for them to do it with how free agency has gone. They might as well stay on the same track. Like Seattle, like, they would have the cap space too, like, if they move the contract out like Mercedes Russell, but it doesn't make sense for them either because they seem like they're in transition. So I just, like you said, don't see where a deal comes unless, like, the asking price goes down. And it's similar to like Diamond to Shields. Like, they did not get a lot from that. Like, overall, they got Onion Ware, the 3rd pick, and then in 2025, they get the better of the 2 picks with the New York Liberty. Like, that's what they got. Like, it's not something you would expect for someone that is as good as Diamond to Shields. Like, so
exactly.
I'm curious because they had to have been inquiring on Skylar Diggins-Smith since, like, it came out and everything towards the end of the season, like, at least testing, like, the waters, maybe even during, like, the trade deadline. Like, because, like, they know players' feelings before they come out. So this is something that's been brewing for at least a bit. So like, they probably were trying to get their big asking price and it hasn't come yet. So
exactly,
if they lower it, like, I'm curious if a team takes it on, because again, the cap hit and not knowing how long you're going to get her before she hits unrestricted free agency, it's just really, really interesting.
Exactly. I feel like Skylar is just going to do exactly what she did last time. I really do. I feel like that's just what it's going to be. It worked last time. She got her money and she got the heck out of Dallas, which was great for her. Like, her first couple of seasons in Phoenix were great. So
yeah, one of the funnest teams to watch. Yeah.
For a while too. So it's like, even last year, even though she didn't play the last few games, she was having a monster season. So I feel like that's enough. Yeah. I feel like that's enough whether she plays this year or not to have a lot of teams ready to throw money at her. So I wouldn't be too concerned. I just feel like, hey, Skylar, do what you do.
In my gut, someone takes the risk. When the asking price goes down, like,
maybe.
Like, again, pieces would have to go back with how big of a contract it is, but yeah, I'm very curious on what team.
You know what? That could be smart though, because if you think about it, let somebody's point guard situation not work out, and that's considered a contender or a would-be contender, and they make a move for it. It could happen. I like what you're thinking.
That came to my mind. Connecticut only signed Brianna Jones for 1 year. And they cored her. Like, normally with core contracts, it's not normally just one season that you lock them up. Like, I found that extremely odd.
Me too.
Is she having tougher feelings too? If those 2 contracts are traded, both teams would have the space. Like, again, like, that's not like the Mercury's biggest need and everything, but now that they got Jefferson, they don't have that point guard need as well, like, as big now. Like, they would be able to have that front court monster that they didn't get to have last season, like BG, Brianna Jones, and Brianna Turner would be pretty fun and everything. But again, that it would be similar situation for both teams too, where they both have 1 year on the contract before they could become unrestricted free agents. So curious.
Yeah, that'll be a hard move to make. And if I was a GM, I would not do it.
No, unless I
just
get a
wouldn't.
guarantee from Skylar Diggins-Smith herself that, like, hey, I want to be with your franchise longer, which Atlanta would make sense with what we're building and everything, but I don't think she does that. Like, I still
Not
personally
right
think
away.
she wants to be in, like, Chicago or LA, like you mentioned. Like, yeah, I don't know, but anything could happen, but I'm curious.
Exactly. And I want everybody to stop trying to send her to Indiana, please. She wants to win now. It doesn't make sense. But,
unless they take the jump. Yeah. Oh, no, you're fine. And like the Fever, they just have so many players right now. Like they already have, I believe, 15 before the draft picks. So I feel like they're going to make some sort of trade.
They might
with those picks. Like I'm just very curious. I really don't think Indiana's done. And I told you, like on one of our first episodes, I really think the Fever are going to make the playoffs with the young core they already have, and then bringing on Boston, who's a generational center, like is going to be like a long time all-star in this league. Like,
after yesterday, who could doubt it?
Yeah,
who could doubt it? Because the way she locked up. The way she locked up Angel Reese was like it was criminal. Like the girl, I can't wait to see what she does in the W when she doesn't have all those double and triple teams.
No kidding, because it's not going to end in college. So,
exactly.
I know you still have a year of eligibility. If you want to take it, please don't consider it. Like, don't, please.
Nah.
I know it's the Fever. I know feelings around them, but I think it's gonna be a good situation. So
yeah, it definitely would. Like, just come on, get your number one pick, and let's roll. I'm ready to see it.
I don't know. Like Maya Caldwell was like a low key, like really good signing by them. Like I don't know. Like I think something's brewing there. Like they are definitely not going to be the Fever of last season. So So and I go over this with you a lot, but. Where do you see the Dream now after the trades? Like, are you feeling more confident, less confident on us being like a surefire playoff team?
I'm going to put it like this. I'm a little more optimistic after picking up Rupert. I'm a little bit more optimistic than I was last week. But I think... I still think we're a fringe playoff team.
Fringe, okay.
Yeah, I still feel like 7-8.
Okay.
And I feel like once we get in, we're probably gonna take out somebody that's gonna be sleeping.
That's what I'm hoping. Yeah.
Because I really I would love to put them in the top 6 or in the middle of the pack, but I still have some questions. But I think if we can build on what we had last year and have some consistency, I feel like we could definitely get in there. And it's gonna be a problem for a top seed to try to take us out because we not going.
No.
Yeah.
And I was more of your opinion, and then I don't know. Like I was sharing before we got on, like just the concept of Ryan and Alicia. Like I just can't overstate enough. Like how exciting that's going to be. Like just them on both ends of the floor. Like point guard, like it could go either way. Like we have someone that's like a more tenured veteran. They're not going to be able to do the same things they did earlier, but still like a great playmaker. Ari, like I'm fully on board on like her game defensively, but still want to see her take the next step as like playmaking, like we talked about, and then like shooting consistency. But Cheyenne is a legitimate all-star, and then I don't know if we can stay healthy. I just still feel like we're firmly in that top, like in that 6th spot. Like I don't think we're at the level of like Connecticut, Washington, LA, New York, and Vegas, but outside of that, like teams have a lot of flaws. Like Chicago, like their front court, Dallas, a lot of talent, but how is that going to gel?
Fit
like
together?
I don't know how that lineup's going to look. like Minnesota and Seattle right now are like the only teams that I think are like for sure lottery.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like there's no team that like there's not a group of a few teams that scare me that they would take us out of the playoffs. Like the Mercury, it could go either way too, but it definitely doesn't scream confidence there. They definitely have some holes and they're still shaping their lineup. Like I don't know.
Definitely. Yeah, I feel like that list you just gave, yeah, I feel like the top is pretty much set. The top 4 is gonna be the top 4. That 5 through 10, and especially that 5 through 8 is gonna be tough. It's gonna be very tough. It's probably only gonna be separated by a couple of games. Every game is going to matter. I'm putting this out there now. Because
and I hope it doesn't
like,
get to that point for us like last season where it comes
doesn't.
to the end of the season. Like I want to firmly be in with like by 3 games where like it wasn't like
I would love that.
drastically in, but you know, comfortably in where we're just able to comfortably eat popcorn for the last couple games and be like, we're in. This is about seeding. Yeah,
I hope.
So.
I hope.
But going back, do you think we're done? Like with the lineup we have, and I'll put it back up for people watching really quick so we can see our roster. When I talked with you, like you didn't think that we were done yet. What do you have in mind? Like, what do you like? Are you still thinking that we trade up? Do you feel like we get someone else that could potentially be a starter? Like, what are your thoughts on like what we're going to do next?
I feel like we could move up and possibly, I don't know, like a 6th pick or 8th pick I feel like that could pick up somebody decent. But I really feel like we're gonna move up in the draft. That's just that's just my feeling.
I don't think Indiana does it, and they would be. Yeah, it just would not be smart
they're not gonna
do that. But we got the Mystics to do it. But I really don't think the Fever are going to do it with just Birder.
Yeah, that's not good. They ain't going.
But Minnesota, like a team that's rebuilding a little, like I'm curious if we did something like the 6th and 8th and took on the Achanwa contract to be able to get the 2nd pick and get Diamond Miller. Because again, we talked about this a little, like, I don't want Ryan playing the amount of minutes she did. Like, I want her being energized in the 4th quarter. Like, I want her playing most games like 30 minutes is even okay. But there was too many games like where she was playing almost the entire game. So getting someone like Diamond Miller would just take us to the next level. Like, just someone that can knock down their jump shots and just one of the best players at driving to the basket in women's college hoops right now. Like I just really like her game, and just someone that fits into our culture on trying really hard on defense as well. Like some people say it's like athleticism for her, and that's what contributes to her defense the most. But I don't know. Like they called Ryan like a lazy player going in before and everything, and I don't think that's the case either. Like,
Absolutely
I feel like it's the similar type of player that can make like a huge impact and be a part of our core for years down the line and everything. So I would be fine trading up if we're able to pull it off. And I'm curious if Minnesota would be willing, like if we take on that larger contract to give us that 2nd pick, and then they get some more players to put on, like help with the rebuild and laying their foundation and everything. Cause you can do something like there's some solid 5th and 8th picks. So I think that could be some potential. I don't think it likely. I'm more leaning towards this is our lineup, like how it is now. I think we take the 6th and 8th, we develop them, but we may want to get an experienced wing like behind Ryan and everything, like someone that's proven themselves that can contribute. So yeah, I don't know. It could just go so many different directions.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Like I would be cool if that's the opening day roster. I have no problems with that. But do I want chaos in the draft? Absolutely.
Definitely.
Why not?
So if let's say we traded our 8th pick to get like a backup wing for Ryan, like you called like Rupert early when I was bringing up possibilities and everything. Are there some wings that potentially could do the mold? Like, not like a starter, but contribute solidly on both ends, like can knock down shots when we need to, and give Ryan like the 10-minute breather that she needs every game? Like, is there someone that comes to mind for you?
Let's see. I'm kind of thinking because the 3 is like a hard position to fill nowadays.
It is
in the W because they're like that build, like being 6 feet and like, really playing on both ends of the floor is extremely hard to find. You know what? I just thought of something crazy.
Okay.
Right?
Oh boy. I'm excited.
But it could work. Why not bring Angel McCoughtry in and see what happens? Because I feel like I know what you're feeling, but hear me out.
Okay, I will.
Angel plays defense. She can score. Yes, she's coming off of some injuries. She's older, but could she give you 10 minutes a game at 35, 36? She can give you 10 minutes a game. She's experienced. And I mean, she probably not gonna hit the cap too hard either. I'm just saying.
Especially since she's been out the last couple seasons.
Exactly. It's interesting. It might be a little crazy, but I'm just saying, because like I can't think of anybody else that's a cheap option that is gonna play on both ends of the floor.
Because I don't want, like, my championship model is like the Chicago Skies, like where like you did not get a break when a starter went on the bench. Like you would have to deal with Azare or in this case now like Rebecca Gardner, like
and since
Dana
we can't
Evans
get
coming
back,
off, like that's what I want us to be able to have. And yeah, I agree. There's not a lot that move the needle and everything that like teams would want to give up. So
yeah, that's kind of a hard position to fill. You would either have to have somebody playing out of position, or you would have to like do a experiment. You're gonna have to do something because like she needs to breathe, and I feel like even at her advanced age, this is just in quotes because she's not that much older than me, but
thank you for that because I'm in the same range. Yeah,
exactly. So I'm not gonna go to we talk about advanced basketball age, but
that's a better term. Cool.
Okay. Exactly. But I feel like, hey, she can give you a good 10-15 minutes at this point in the game.
Probably what she would be able to give right now. Yeah.
Exactly. Shoot, why not?
I'll chew on that. But
I mean, it's crazy.
You saw my reaction. It wasn't the thing I wanted to hear, but
of course. But it's a hard position to fill. It's hard unless you're gonna do it in the draft. And if you can do it in the draft, great. But like as far as having somebody experienced, that's gonna take time.
And that's gonna take time. That just what is the time frame for Padover is what it comes down to again. Because like a move for like making the trade with Minnesota and taking on that big contract and then letting them get experience like Ryan last year and everything and just developing that foundation. That's one thing. But on the other end, you have Cheyenne Parker, who I don't know if we're going to be able to re-sign. Like, I don't know. I don't know if she goes elsewhere. Like, I think she likes it in Atlanta, but
I feel like she also wants to win. And
I'm hoping we can show her that. Like, because if we have another, like, getting a 3-year contract with a team and you don't make the playoffs once, I don't think there's a way that she comes back. Especially when she came so close with Chicago, like being on some good teams and then coming to us, like
exactly. And that's the part that I feel like is gonna be like that little thorn in her side that she wasn't on that team because she was like just the cap space wasn't there. Because if it was there, she would have went back.
I agree.
And she would have had a ring. So it's gonna be a little thorn in her side. So I mean, I hope and pray that we can get in good standing and make a splash in the playoffs and hopefully bring her back in. Cause
And I think that's it's going to be key for. And then on another note, like the further it goes, I know like Alicia sounded great in the press conferences and everything on like wanting to be with the dream, but man, like the longer it goes without that extension happening until it happens, there's a risk that she leaves, and we gave up 2 first-round picks for 1 season to someone. So like I don't know, him making that trade, like to me said we're committing to the playoffs. Like we are flat out just committing to the playoffs this season. Like
we have to make
I think
the playoffs.
I think it could be a terrible situation if we don't. So I don't know. My gut says we still hold on to those picks and like someone else like fills the holes on as a backup, but I could see us thinking outside the box. Like Angel did not come to my mind, but doing something like that or making a trade with someone to bring someone experienced in that isn't coming to our mind right now. But
because I'm sure it's somebody out there that I'm missing because it's a lot of players that probably haven't made a roster in a while that are still great players,
and it's also hard because like you said, it's a dogfight. Like there's no one committing to being a rebuilding team, so there's not like someone that giving up those pieces like Chicago before like they signed Rebecca Gardner. Like I would have thought like, hey, what can we give to get Chicago to do it? But now that they've shown that they want to compete this season, draft picks obviously are not important to them because they just threw that away. So
and I still feel that that's a little crazy, but
no, as soon as like the Mabry trade happened, I knew we weren't going to get Rebecca Gardner because I'm like, okay, they're going to find a way to bring her back because they're trying to compete this season. So I don't know. That was one of the main players I was banking on. I still think the Liberty need to get rid of someone. So someone like Jocelyn Willoughby, maybe, or I don't know if she could do the 3,
or maybe Didi.
She's a little smaller. Like, isn't she more like shooting guard stature? Like, could she play the 3?
Maybe. Cause hold on, I want to say she's like 6 feet, right?
I am looking this up.
Cause I feel like she's 6 feet, and she plays.
She's 6'2". Okay.
Oh yeah. There we go. There we go. That's it. Go get Didi and make it happen. Because at least we'll have somebody to plug in and defensively, what she can do.
And she is very sound defensively. She still has to improve on her offensive game. Honestly, the player I would have wanted to get from the Liberty is Onion Waring. I thought she had a really good rookie season, but the Mercury already got her. I really like Willoughby, but it would be bringing someone with injury concerns in and everything. Like, I want someone that is stable, but I would not be mad if we got Willoughby because I still think she has a lot of potential and could fill that spot. But Didi is honestly, that would be interesting. Definitely fits like our defensive mantra. Like if we go off the bench, like just assuming like Aries a backup, or if she comes in as a starter, like that defensive game of like Billings coming off the bench, Nas,
Didi, I love it.
Airy, and then Alicia or Ryan. Like I think one of those are staying on the court at all times, but like that group would be really good defensively. I'd have questions offensively, like we talked about, but that would, that group would be able to get some stops. So,
yeah, that's going to be very, very interesting.
Hold on, I just want to take a look at their cap space really quick because they're still, they're at like 138K with 9 players. So that's still like cutting it really close. They still haven't re-signed Han. So I still think they move one more piece, and I don't think it would take much, and they don't want something for this season because they can barely afford the cap space. So maybe like our 15th pick, who like last season, like it was the perfect season for Nas to be drafted by us because it would take a lot for the 15th pick to make our roster. Like they would have to take over one, like either AD or show up better than the the 6th or 8th pick to be able to get on our roster. It's not like last season where there were more spots up for grabs. Like it, yeah. So that 15th pick we're going to be more like one of those teams that throw that away unless we draft internationally. So
the thing about it is the 15th picks usually end up sticking, and this is why I say so. Guess who was the number 15 pick last year?
I know.
And guess what spot that Monique got picked at
I know.
in 2018? So I'm just saying, it might be something with us in the 15th
Wallace and Monique back-to-back that draft. So, yeah, I get it. I know
it's a little something with that 15.
It's so frustrating that there's not expanded rosters in the WNBA. There's so many other players that didn't even get that spot. Like, I don't know. Natasha Mack should not be out of W right now. Even if she's not playing, she should be on a roster. Just players like that, or a first rounder getting Hollingshed with the Aces. That shouldn't have happened. Where a first rounder feels like they had the potential to be cut. You don't hear about that in other sports, and So again, need change. I know it's not coming really soon, but it's hard. The draft is always exciting, but also really sad as well on players that could have potential and don't get an opportunity to show that they belong in the W or not. So
which is crazy.
So
one of these days.
But yeah, any other thoughts on your mind before we part? We covered
I'm trying to think, because you already know you never know. It could be something crazy dropped tonight. I had no idea, especially Friday, that anything crazy was gonna happen.
Yeah, we were planning
trade.
Most of the time we're thinking doing this every week, and then a couple when the season starts doing it a little more and everything. But during the off season, I was thinking okay, we can meet again next week, and then the 4-team trade thing happened
just boom
during our episode or a little before, and then Moriah Jefferson signing just making me think about Skylar Diggins-Smith, especially in the month of February, there's just so much that can change. So,
and it's still gonna be so much because we got a month and some change till the draft. So,
and I'm excited to talk Athletes Unlimited coming up. I'm so excited to watch Naz and Alicia. I hope we get one time where they're on a team. Yes. What I honestly want is a former dream team. We get Odyssey Sims, we get Courtney Williams, we get Alicia Gray and Naz Hillman, and
that's gonna
Lonnie's
be dope.
Not there this season, but yeah. But anyway, that's really fun. I like the point system, so that's in 10 days now. I can't wait
to watch. Oh yes, 10 days.
So
all right.
I am excited. So college ball and overseas has been my main thing. College ball, I know more about the prospects that I like and everything. I'll tune back in for the conference and NCAA tournaments a bit, but I'm full on ready for this AU. I'm really excited to tune in, and especially since Naz and Alicia are on there. It's no brainer.
Absolutely
tuning in for that. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I said I was gonna watch as much as I could this year. And
especially the ones that are on YouTube that make it easy to replay. So
exactly. Yeah. I love that concept. Maybe the W should take a couple notes, but that's just me. But
and the broadcasters that they get every year, they're just the camera angles we get, I don't know, it's just
love it.
A top tier experience to watch. Yeah, I'm sure it's fun
Cheryl
being there too.
Swoops. Yeah. Come on.
And then Catchings is one of my favorite.
I love whenever Catchings does any type of commentating. I love it. She is so her mind, as far as everything she sees on the floor, is crazy.
And just how she talks, she just seems like that person they can share a story about anything, and you're just enthralled. You're
because she has a wealth of them.
What are you talking about?
Exactly. Exactly. So. Yeah, she has a wealth of knowledge. Her and Swoops. I feel like the W is missing that type of element. I feel like that would take us to the next level as far as commentating because it can get a little stale when you know who and you know who are on. They're not my favorite, but just bringing in
There's a lot
like
of
former players.
so
Yeah, it's a
around the
lot
league,
of them.
so
I gotta start
but
coming
some
up with
that
more
do a good job.
nicknames.
I don't want to
Yeah.
completely bash and everything, but I would just like people that are passionate about WNBA specifically,
Mm-hmm.
and like
And who
it's
better
just
than
like
former players?
the thing they look forward to. Like, yeah, former players and everything. Like, and there's some personalities that are clearly good with media.
Great personalities.
Yeah, so just didn't want to bash on the broadcasters too much.
Yeah,
I'm just saying I just want people who like the WNBA is like their life and like it's the thing they look forward to every year, and I just don't feel like we get that enough. So.
We don't. And when we actually do get it, it's so great. And it's like
it is.
This is what we've been missing. But I digress.
But yeah, I think that's all I have for now too. Yeah. I don't see anything happening soon, but you never know. I don't see anything imminent, but I will make the prediction that Skylar Diggins-Smith will be traded within the next 2 weeks. Before the calendar hits March, Skylar Diggins-Smith will be on another team. I'm going to say that.
All right, his crystal ball, he been repping it, y'all. So
it did not work for Azare.
I mean, it worked for me.
It's true. So your crystal ball is working great. So is Skylar Diggins-Smith getting traded before March? You said no. She's going to stay put until free agency. She's going to
stay put until free agency. And we're going to be talking about this all over again and her going to LA 2024. We already know it's happening.
Okay. All right. Well, nice chatting with you as always. Thanks everyone who tuned in. And we'll talk later. All right.
See you later. Bye.